Hey, what's happening? It's Jason Davis in Dallas, Texas. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about reeds. In my hand, I have a Legia number two. I'm not sure if it's the. They got different kinds. This is the blue one. Tenor sax number two, Legia. And what you can do is you can go online and find a reed comparison chart, which will tell you the different strengths of different brands of reeds and how they compare to each other uh, on the thickness of the cut of the reed. So I have a Leger reed number two. I also have a fiber cell, and this is a fiber cell brand reed Premier number 2.5. And I think it's kind of used, so it's gotten a little soft. Um, I also have a Barry brand plastic cover reed. I'm not, excuse me, not plastic cover, but a Barry brand plastic reed, and it's a soft, it's a S. But this reed, I did a video on this reed, and I believe this is the reed I did the video on, and it worked on my plastic mouthpiece. But since I did the video, I bought a new mouthpiece. That's a metal mouthpiece, and this reed was too hard for the metal mouthpiece that I bought. So I started sanding it down. So I started taking it across some sandpaper, just like let me see if I can get that in there. Just kind of just like sanding it down, not on the back part here, but on the part where your lip goes. I started sanding it down. You don't want to sand it down too far because it'll make the tip too sharp. But I started sanding it down. I started getting some sound out of it. So I'll play it on all three of these reeds. And finally, I have a few of these uh, Rico brand plastic cover reeds. And these are number two. And these work really well on my metal mouthpiece. I did a video on my mouthpiece. But these reeds have gotten kind of soft. I've been had them for about a week, maybe 2 weeks. I think about two and a half weeks is about how long it takes me to go through all the reeds in a box of 5 of the plastic cover. Just depending on how many gigs I'm playing, but I'm playing a lot. So the plastic cover they're lasting longer than the wooden reeds. So I'm gonna play on all these. Before I get to playing, there is something that I saw another saxophone player talking about on the internet, and I watched his video, and I really think he seemed kind of weird at first when he first started talking about this stuff. So I was like, I don't know what this dude is on. But I don't have any like regular just wooden reeds, so I couldn't try what he was talking about. But when I get a reed out, the first thing that I want to do is just put it in my mouth and start to moisten the reed. But these plastic cover reeds, I don't know. I don't think they don't moisten as quickly as a wooden reed because they got the plastic coating on them. So I just started, really just inspecting the reed. So I get the reed out instead of just trying to wet the reed up. I'll take the reed and I'll rub it in the palm of my hand, like the bottom of the reed, the very bottom. So this is the top, this is the bottom, or like this. This is the top, this is the bottom. And so not the back or the front, but the bottom, up under the reed. I start to rub that across my hand like this, just rubbing it. And it still has a plastic cover on it. But it kind of seals up the pores of the bamboo. Even though it's got the plastic cover on, I don't know why it works, but it works. I rub it across my hand like that. Then if my hand's kind of dried out, I use the other hand. I just rub it across my hand. Kind of seals that up. What it does, I do not know. I don't know the science behind it. So I just start trying it. Just start getting it out, rubbing it across my hand, right? So then next, what I'll do is I'll like the sides, this side, that side, I'll kind of rub that across my hand too. And I'll just kind of inspect the reed, you know. And instead of like looking at the reed, say, oh, this reed don't work, get another one. I'll just inspect the reed a little bit. Then I'll take the reed between my thumbs here like this, where it's like this side of the reed is showing, you know. And I'll just rub my thumbs across that little part that slopes down. And you know, you really don't want to, you don't want your hands to be dirty or nothing like that. So you may want to wash your hands first, you know. You don't want to be rubbing your hand out where you're going to put the reed in your mouth and your hand's dirty. But, you know, you want to rub across there. That seals the pores too. And you don't want to touch the tip up here where you might chip the reed. But it's kind of like, when I was watching the video, the guy was saying that the reed has a memory, you know, and it remembers the vibrations that came through it. So I kind of, what I'm doing now is I'm kind of taking my thumb on this back part of the reed, and the side of the reeds, I guess you would say where it goes on the railing of the mouthpiece. I'm just kind of bending that out. Just really, in a sense, reworking the reed. Before I even wet it up. This is, you know, a dry reed, fresh out the box, and I keep them in a box already where they stay flat. So it's not like I'm just, you know, throwing the reed in one of those little plastic cases or anything. But the reed is fairly flat. So once I do that, I may take my fingers and I'm trying to get this reed to see what I'm doing. I might take this finger here and come up under the reed while it's like that. You see? So I'm up under the reed, the bottom. I'm just kind of working that, all those parts. And at the same time I'm feeling to see how much resistance the reed is giving me. Now after I do that for a minute, and with these plastic cover reeds, I have taken these when they seem like they won't play, and I'll stick them in a glass of water, you know, for a couple of minutes or whatever, and they will be playable. So, you know, don't think that the plastic cover is just like, oh man, plastic cover or whatever. Now when the plastic starts chipping on the reed, you need to get rid of it. You know, it's just time to get rid of them, because, you know, you don't want to be ingesting the black plastic. So the reed feels good. Kind of worked on it a little bit. Now I have a reed already on my mouthpiece, which my mouthpiece is a Theo 1E Durga, number 9. It's a 120 tip opening, and large chamber mouthpiece. So this reed that I just wet, it looks all warpy and stuff. It looks all warped up. You can kind of see that a little bit. As soon as I wet it up, it's all warped, you know, warpy at the end, right? That's already telling me that something weird is gonna happen once I put it on the mouthpiece. So when I put my reed on, I tend to line it up with my hands. Then I check the tip of it with my tongue to make sure that it's just lined up right where I want it at. I like the reed kind of high, a little higher. I don't like it really down too low below the tip. I like it up a little higher, but not too much. So when I'm putting the reed on, I check it with my tongue because that's what is gonna be hitting it while I'm playing. So for all the equipment I use and stuff, you have to go back in some of my videos and tell you what all this horn and all this stuff is. So yeah, this reed is playing good, playing very good. So that reed plays like, like I've been playing on it for a little while. So let me just take out another one of those plastic cover reeds that I didn't do any of that stuff to. I didn't rub it on my hands and I didn't try to seal up the pores at all. I'm just going to put this one on and let's see what we get. I didn't wet it up or nothing. And all these reeds have been played on. They're all old reeds. None of them are brand new. They're just reeds in my box of reeds. Let's see what this one sounds like. A little stuffy. Not ready to play it off. Stuffy, I can hear a lot of air. Airy, stuffy. I got to do a whole bunch of stuff to this reed. So what I'm trying to tell you is, no matter if you're playing a plastic cover or a wooden reed, now this won't work on the plastic reeds, but the plastic cover reeds, sealing up the pores on the back of the reed, and then sealing up the pores here on the front of the reed, and really working that reed and getting a feel for, I can't explain exactly what I'm feeling for, but I know what a fresh reed feels like and I know what an old reed feels like. So just kind of working that reed while it's still dry, as opposed to taking the reed out, putting it in your mouth, going, oh, let me get the reed together, and then put it on the horn. You battling against a little piece of wood, with your moisture that you feeling like is going to get the reed together. Now I got friends that say, hey man, I put the whole reed in my mouth. I do that. You can do all that, but yet and still, when you got that whole reed in your mouth, when you got the foot or the back of the reed in your mouth, you still are pressing up against that wood, with your teeth and with your tongue. So it's like working that reed with your hands, clean hands that is very important. And I'm just not realizing the importance of that. Because on this hand, this reed is ready to play. Now, just as an experiment, I'm going to take out one more reed that's fresh. So here's the one that I worked. Here's the one that I just wet up and played, okay? This is one that I know is an old reed. You can even see on the back of it how it's kind of chipping a little bit at the top, right? On the back side. Okay, so this reed I haven't played yet. So I'm going to do the same thing I did before. And rub my hands together, get a little hand juice, a little sweat in there, whatever it is. So I'm going to rub the back of this reed against my hand. Just rub it in my hand. People probably be like, what is he doing over there? What is she doing? What are they doing with that reed? So because, I rubbed the other one on my hand, I probably rub this one on my fingertips. It'll give you a little more. We'll call it hand juice. Okay? So we sealing up the back of it. Even, like I said, even though it's got plastic on it. Now, some people might want to sand that down first. Might want to sand that down at the bottom and then seal it up. You would think it would be sealed, right? And then I'm going to rub across the rails. the sides. We don't call it the sides. Let's call it the rails. But the sides, you know. Then I'm kind of rushing through this. Then I'm just gonna rub my hands across this part, my thumbs across that part, right? And I'm not scraping. I'm not using my thumb to scrape the plastic or to scrape the wood or nothing like that. Some people might want to do that. And I'm just taking the reed through my hand, just kind of flattening it out because I can see that it's warpy. So now, got to read this way. I'm just gonna give it a little bend. Turn it to the other side, give it a little bend. So I'm just creating some flexibility with the reed. So it only takes a couple of minutes. Now, I really don't know if this reed is going to work good, but I don't know if it's going to be airy, right? So I done messed around with the reed a little bit, did all them things. In the back, you know, where it seals on, I might take my fingernail and just, if I feel a little something on there that might not make it lay too flat on the back, I might just get at a little, you know, light, you know, fingernail scrape. So now, I'm gonna put this reed on. I didn't take any time to wet the reed. It's just like, hey, time to play, right? Popping. It's popping. It's loud. Like I've been playing on it for a long time. So that's the first thing that I think will, and if this works with a plastic reed, a plastic cover reed, the things it'll do for just straight wood, you know that this is something that I'm sure will be helpful to anybody. It's very helpful to me. So whoever that guy was that made the video, I appreciate you. You know, you can probably look at him, look him up. If I find out who he is, I'll try to credit him. But he's a genius, you know, in my book. So other reeds, the Barry brand plastic cover, and there's some other reeds out there I want to get a hold to. This Forest Tone, I want to get one of them. It's another one, you know, and there's some other, you know, brand versions of these reeds too. Some of the other luxuriant fiber set, but this one, all the other stuff I did with rubbing the reed and stuff, I really don't think that that's important. But maybe the flexibility thing, maybe I could do some of that, you know. But it's a piece of plastic, so I'm gonna try this on the plastic. I really don't think this reed plays too well with my embouchure and this tip opening on this mouthpiece. It's just too hard for me. But I'm gonna play it just so you can hear it. And there's so many variables, you know. These Theo 1 mouthpieces, you can move the ligature back or you can move it forward. So all that makes a difference with how well the reed is going to respond to you and your airflow and your embouchure. But and where you and how far forward and back you push the reed, that's something that you really got to spend some time messing around with any kind of reed. Right. And like I said, I've sanded this reed down so where it could even get that much sound out, because at first I wasn't getting anything. So I'm having to struggle hard to get a sound out with this reed because it's too thick. Um, the Leger reeds come in quarter sizes, which helps me because although I like the sound of this barred plastic cover reed, I love the sound. It's robust and it's heavy. And if I played on it for a while, I could get a much better, tone on it. If this was maybe a quarter size or maybe a half size thinner, it would just be beautiful. So I would use this reed to practice on. So I use these plastic reeds to practice on sometimes. If I'm playing through some, etudes, some stuff really slow, and I just don't want to wear out a reed practicing. So I don't throw away reeds. So this is good. You always got to have an ace in the hole, right? Moving right along to the fiber cell Premier number 2.5. This reed right here, it was soft when I got it. I got it from somebody and it was already a little soft. Now it's too soft. Now these reeds, I believe, are fiberglass. They're not necessarily just plastic. But all that good stuff. I'm sure if this reed was maybe like a number 3 or 3.5, I would probably be in love with it. I probably just love the sound of this. It's a little too soft. It makes my bottom lip a little shaky. I can feel where I'm pressing it a little hard, and it's it's got that little sound. So this reed is a little soft, and I think it's because it's using it's maybe a step, a size too small, too soft. I'm sorry, from what I would like to play. So on to the Leger number 2. Now a friend of mine was telling me he was like, hey man, I play on those Leger reeds and I like those, and we play the same mouthpiece, and so I went and bought one because I was like, okay, let me check it out. Now, when I played it in the music store, it was on point. It sound was filling up the room, sound good. When I got to the gig, the tip of my tongue started hitting the edge of it, and it just felt like it didn't feel like the wooden or the plastic cover reed. It felt like a little thinner on the tip, and it just was kind of irritating. And it was all about the way I was playing. I was playing a little harder, at the gig than I was playing when I was just warming up, So the good thing to do in that case is really just go back to use another reed. But today, I actually put the reed back on, and I said, well, let me test it out now and pull the reed down a little bit. And I spent a lot of time playing on it. I was getting some good sounds from it. This one is a number 2. I would have much rather had like a 1.5. I think that would have been the perfect, strength for me. So it can go. It can go. So yeah, it feels good, and it's just all about knowing where to aim on the reed. Because if I aim for these edges, yeah, it's gonna feel funny, but I'm kind of aiming just a little bit below there, and I do some playing to the side sometimes to get that. I do that to get that sound. So yeah, so it's all about break. These reeds have to be broken like any other reed. But I don't know if I don't know if I would play on this as opposed to playing on one of these plastic cover reeds, because these are just like, they give me a little bit. They give me the projection that I want, but they give me a little bit of the wood sound too. It's just a little brighter, and bright is going to carry in that room, and it's going to allow me to hear myself too if I'm playing with a loud band. I like the edge on the reed a little better. Just for the way I like to play, I got a really dark mouthpiece, and so having a bright reed, it works for me, Yeah, so that's this is me just telling you a little bit about different reeds, and some things you can do to kind of work on getting your reeds to play a little better for you. Just trying out some reeds, letting you hear the difference in them. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks. I'm Jason Davis, Dallas, Texas. You can email me at jasondavisjazz@yahoo.com. Give me a call. I endorse Theo Wani mouthpieces and products. So hope this helps somebody. See you later.